America. I want to talk to the Trump supporters, and I want to talk to everyone. It's going to be about 5 minutes of your time, and I want everyone to listen very closely. We find right now that we're placing blame on the economy and the voting and the voter fraud and BLM and the Antifa and Proud Boys. Stop. I want the country to marinate on the fact that your president, there may be a possibility that he's deteriorating mentally. He's deteriorating mentally because all of the signs of mental deterioration are at your disposal to view for your own recognizance. The past interviews that this man has had, and there's about four of them that will give you the biggest cues. One of them are the past two debates that we have had, rallies, and the debate most of all. As Chris Wallace was telling him to stop interrupting, a bigger problem occurred that a week ago, no one pointed out. It is not okay to normalize the fact that this man's behavior is acceptable as a leader of the free world in 2020. You are talking about an individual that is in power and in control of over 220 nuclear launch sequences and codes at his disposal, at his own will, if he was to feel that there was an attack that he could not handle. This man has repeatedly slurred his words, and the interruption could be a sign of Asperger's. His interruptions could be a sign of dead brain cell tissue, as we're laughing at it, and the jokes are over, America. I think you can agree with that. And nobody in his circle seems to point this out and or care, so that should be a bigger concern to the American people than just him giving shoutouts to the Aryan nation. Again, the current and modernized idea of Proud Boys are Aryan Nation chapter members, and your president doesn't seem to understand the severity of the questions and situations that he's putting himself in. For the longest time, America, I thought that was just him being a selfish bigot, but now articles have been circulating about the president now having outbursts in which the president will start to scream at one of his advisors and he forgets what he says. He would go and grab a pen or a pencil or anything to hold in his hands, and his hands just freeze, or they freeze like this. That's a sign of nerve damage. And this man is a cocaine and meth addict. So what I wanted to say to the country, take it from somebody who watched his own father deteriorate from brain cell tissue, fluid on the brain, and lack of 30, 40 plus years of health care. Because the men that are leading this country come from a time in when medical science and doctors were not important. And they are in the leaders of the free world. So every independent or institutionalized media mogul, get on the train of reality. If we continue to allow this is going to be a massive, massive, massive mistake. Because this man could actually be very sick, and not with COVID, but with something that involves his cerebral well-being. And what that means is his brain tissue could be something disastrously wrong. This man could have brain tumors, or cell damage, or dead brain cells, which stem from tumors on the brain, which my aunt died in 1994 of brain tumors. She started forgetting her name, and she started blowing the fuck up on the job as a police officer until she finally had to be carted away because she thought she was in a hot pursuit, but she crashed her cruiser. Nobody was being chased. I want America to seriously hear this, because nobody in the proper positions in which can actually do something about this are doing anything. So word to every member of the Trump administration, or even the military. If you feel like this man is a danger to himself or a danger to others, then please step into the Oval Office and act on the constitutional amendment in which he is in no condition to lead a country as this fucking magnitude. Everybody has been pointing jokes, and I get in America, it's funny at times, and he's such an idiot. No, he could be mentally ill. I've volunteered my time many times working with people with psychological issues. I grew up in homes with people with mental issues. And it's pretty clear to me that your commander-in-chief has a psychological issue. And it's not funny anymore because the psychological issues are driving him to thank the Proud Boys. He may not know who he is thanking because he can't remember, because there could be something wrong up here. While you're laughing about it and keep on rooting for him. He could start a civil war because he doesn't know any better. And nobody in the Trump administration is telling you the complete truth. So to speed up the video, please share this with anyone that you know. I'm asking all doctors and clinicians to actually be doctors and clinicians or people within the mental health field in facilities across this nation of the highest standards. I demand, in the first one, to demand that somebody does something about organizing a presidential psych eval. The presidential psychological evaluation is not just being able to tell the difference between a giraffe and elephant. It's actually a test in which they administer Trump in a high-pressure situation. It's either online or it's on paper, and the president is asked a series of pretty high-pressure questions in which he is allowed 2 to 5 minutes to respond to any high-pressure situation involving crises, environmental crises, societal crises, war, terrorist attacks, etc. And this man is allowed 1 minute most of the time to write down a proper or type down a proper response or on record. You have three choices. You have handwritten, you have typed, or you have role play. Trump was never given that. I've tried finding it. No answer, non-applicable. So also, your actual Department of Homeland Security, your administrative White House correspondents have a lot of answers that you should be asking questions and demanding those answers. I wish everybody a happy, healthy, and wealthy evening.